We're gonna win the league. We are winning the league, bro. We are winning the league. Fuck everyone. Fuck the world. Only reason why I came here today was to address a really important narrative which is going on online, and you have people like Mark Goldbridge, wanting to take shots at the other clubs, indirectly. I think that's something which obviously he wanted to entice some sort of a connotation through his words that he used. Anyhow, the main point is that there's a comparison being done whether Onslaught winning the Premier League in his debut season is bigger than Arteta possibly winning the Champions League. First of all, I think it's going to be a massive achievement for Arsenal and Arteta getting their hands on the Champions League, because no one expected them to win the Champions League or even give a stiff fight in this competition, especially this season for sure. No one expected Arteta nor Arsenal to do the unthinkable. And I think they've already stamped their presence as one of the favorites in this competition. And for the reason for that is really clear. I think they're more disciplined as a team. There's more control. There's more control over the style of play to what it was maybe 2 years ago. They might have been more free. They might have been more fluidic, but there is more control for sure, the way Arteta is trying to manage things in the backdrop. That's not the point. The point is, why would you even want to raise a comparison of sorts? Why do people believe so much in clickbait? Why do people focus so much on, a facade, not the right energy, right? Be yourself, man. Like, why do you want to fucking talk about these stupid comparisons on Twitter? It doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. I think Liverpool, man, winning the Premier League is big because this guy, no one really heard about him before. Like, he came from Feyenoord, he did really well with the club, but no one really heard about him, right? A manager, no matter where they are, no matter if they're managing Brisbane Rovers or Brisbane Power, any Australian club and MLS, whatever they do with the team, with the club, it's not easy to win titles anywhere, right? And winning the Premier League is like the highest form of accomplishment anywhere in the world. And I'll give it to Onslaught for sure. I think I'm really happy with the manager and what he's done so far, to the club. But yeah, my major concern was this, that I needed to get this out of the way. This comparison of sorts is absurd. Gen Z is kind of vulnerable to these discussions. Gen Z is a generation that is not able to take any sort of banter. I feel like online, if you look at Twitter, like Gen Z fans, you're going to see them losing their shit all over the internet. And that's not something that our generation used to do. Like of course we have blown a fuse here and there in different situations against Man United fans or against Arsenal fans and yada yada, but nothing serious. But on Twitter you get to see this every day, and now Mark Goldbridge has started a war. He has started a war which will take a lot to extinguish, and it doesn't really sit right with any of those folks. And I'm going to tell you one thing. This is my advice to the YouTube community. Like, keep it clean. Like, try to keep it clean and try to keep it natural, I think you wouldn't really get 1 million views out of bringing out such narratives, and we know why people do it. They do it for clout. And of course, like, some clickbait titles do seem natural, like the ones that I've used. I can give you examples for sure. But they don't really strike a wrong chord. Like, you don't really get to think that, this is cringe. No, this is not cringe. Like, you don't need to make that sort of a judgment when you see some clickbait titles. They're like, clickbait in general is cringe, right, in a way, but then you get it sometimes. Like, you're trying to be a little subtle with the way you put those thumbnails out there, the way you put those captions out there. But yeah, man, like, Arsenal versus Liverpool when it comes to title winning, there should be no comparison. Every club has a right to celebrate the way they want to. And Arsenal's done a massive job in terms of building their foundation, cementing their position. They've been consistently coming second, which is fine. I mean, they'll get there for sure. By God's grace, I think if they get a hand on one title, I think they have a good opportunity on of getting it on a couple more. I think that's how Liverpool started. But yeah, every manager has their own journey, and even if he departs, even if he's not able to get a title, I think what he tried to do is commendable. Like we should be applauding Arsenal for what they have done. And congratulations once again. It's not easy to get the 20th league title. We haven't heard it in the Premier League for the longest. It was just Man United now.